Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. The past century has seen the astonishing evolution of the aviation industry, up to a point where it is estimated about 400 aircraft took off every hour. Designed to fly for about 30 years, these aircraft will eventually take off and land for the final time. So what will happen then? In today's feature, we will look at the afterlife of an aircraft and how some have taken up the challenge to repurpose it to a new life. Generally, the lifespan of an aircraft is measured in pressurization cycles and not in years that contribute to its age. These cycles refer to the amount of time between takeoff and landing that the aircraft is kept under pressure from the flight, which indeed stresses the fuselage and the wings of the aircraft. For instance, the Boeing 747 can endure about 35,000 pressurization cycles, which is estimated to roughly about 135,000 to 165,000 flight hours. Usually, the hull of the aircraft also determines the pressurization cycles. For long-haul aircraft that make relatively few cycles, the lifespan would be approximately 40,000 cycles. For short-haul aircraft, the number of cycles is higher, sometimes up to 100,000 cycles. Besides the hull, there are also other important factors that bring an end to the service period of an aircraft, including component fatigue. Every airline manufacturer designs and implements maintenance programs to determine if the components of the aircraft have become over-fatigued by pressurization. After careful observations and tests, the airline operator then chooses to either replace those components with new or second-hand components, or discontinue the entire aircraft from further service. Like any business, the operational tenure of an aircraft also depends on other economic factors, such as fuel efficiency and maintenance cost. Once decommissioned and taken out of service, the aircraft is destined for aircraft graveyards or aircraft boneyards. Currently, the world's largest military aircraft boneyard is the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, located in Tucson, Arizona. This storage facility provides a suitable semi-arid climate for aircraft. The dryness, as well as the lack of acidity in the soil, prevents the corrosion of these assets. Even though not in operation, these aircraft are referred to as assets, since hundreds of engineers and mechanics work towards reclaiming critical old parts and regenerating the grounded aircraft towards putting them back into operation. Nearly 3,100 aircraft are stored in this facility, which is worth approximately $35 billion of assets. Although perceived to be a cemetery, the personnel of Davis-Monthan Air Force Base aims at giving a second chance at life to these aircraft.
The idea that a lot of people have is that the boneyard is really a boneyard, like a graveyard, where it's a very static kind of place where nothing happens. It's anything but, as you may have seen. It's a very heavily engaged, dynamic, busy organization that's tasked with supporting, the mission of the United States Air Force and its allies. And that's a huge amount of work.
Similarly, for commercial airliners, the Mojave Air and Spaceport in California has been the ideal choice. Since 1972, the East Kern Airport District has been the administrator of this facility. The vast, dry, low-humidity desert conditions make this boneyard a feasible location for airliners to store their aircraft and for the airport district to maintain it. Based on short-term or long-term parking and storage of aircraft in the Mojave Boneyard, the airliners can incur a monthly cost of $2,000 to $5,000. Recently, Qantas Airlines sent its last Boeing 747, named Wunala, to this California desert, and its final takeoff was witnessed by hundreds of spectators and airplane spotters. The Mojave Air and Spaceport do invite visits during the monthly Plane Crazy Saturdays to see the airport, static displays, and possible fly-ins. While not all aircraft are destined to the scrapyard, some airliners often opt to acquire, retrofit, and operate used aircraft. Constantly working towards reducing costs, including that of an aircraft maintenance and crew pay, directly affects the aircraft and staff performance. Countries such as Bangladesh, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Paraguay, Zimbabwe, and many more sometimes have their airlines banned from entering the U.S. airspace as their civil aviation authority does not provide sufficient safety oversight on their airline operators, failing to meet the standards set by the International Civil Aviation Organization. And when it's time for the aircraft to eventually bid adieu, it often makes a comeback with a new purpose. For instance, a few airline enthusiasts have actually acquired converted scrapped and used planes, such as the Boeing 727 and DC-8 jet plane, into their own cozy and isolated homes. These airplane houses typically have the same area as a normal house, but in a long centrical tube shape. These houses also have ample storage area due to the cargo hold underneath the plane. But this isn't the only creative transformation you'll see. These retired aircraft are also converted into hotels, bed and breakfast, or food outlets. Located in Stockholm, a unique hotel built inside a Boeing 747 jumbo jet is the Jumbo Stay Hotel. The hotel has 33 rooms with up to 4 beds in each. A larger room, branded the Cockpit Suite, is located on the upper deck. The first-class lounge has been converted into a cafe that sells snacks and simple meals. A few other airplane hotels have also interestingly redesigned the cockpit area into a gaming zone, making the concept of airplane hotel dining one of a kind. Once an object of admiration that soars across the skies, a plane doesn't fly forever. There comes a day in the life of every aircraft when it lands for good. What may appear an end may, in fact, be a new beginning to the ground-bound aircraft. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.